Good morning, New England weather weenies. It was a frosty one out there this morning where I am. If you haven't seen it yet, it's coming. This is what my roof looked like this morning. I'm sitting at about 1,100 feet in elevation in the Monadnock region of New Hampshire.
Also, shout out to Jen, Maddie, and Amanda.
They were so fun. They were like, "Are you that meteorologist?" And I'm like, yes, I am that meteorologist.
So if we take a look at the HRRR, you can see that there was definitely some isolated places of frost. Model picking them up really at the higher elevations, but like I said, I had a frosty roof down here, so we're getting close. Where you see that really quick change to blue is where, the frost was predicted. It's going to warm up a little bit today, and then I want you to see tonight the area of frost is going to get bigger, and then we're going to warm up again, and then it's going to get even larger. So if you haven't had it, this week is your chance.
Not saying everybody will. Let's look at a larger scale model that can go out a little bit further to give us more of that information.
This is the GFS, and it's not nearly as granular as that HRRR, and it's not really picking up on a lot of areas that had frost this morning.
This model is also the one that drives a majority of your weather apps out there, so it doesn't have the granularity you need to give you that information, and is why you get caught off guard sometimes.
But as we go ahead and we play through, we can see that there's going to be a little bit of a larger area tonight that sees some of that frost, and then we go through the next day, and then it really picks it up and kicks it in. So pretty much any place is possible, really, unless you're coastal here, looking like there's going to be a decent chance to see your first frost here on Thursday morning.
After that, things will start to warm up. We'll talk about what's going on. Who was woken up in the middle of the night by an amazing thunderstorm, by the way, on like Sunday night into Monday morning?
Sunday night's forecast discussion said heavier showers possible, rumble of thunder, totally can't be ruled out.
Well, where I live, we had this thing roll through. And let's just say there was more than a rumble of thunder. Woke me up, major, amazing lightning show, woke all my kids up, which was great. So that cold front that came through, when you have these drastic cold fronts, you see we're getting the cold temperatures after the fact because of it. But also it created those overnight thunderstorms that we had, because this time of year and that time of day, incredibly rare for these kind of storms. Not unheard of, but it is 2024 and I'm getting tired of the unprecedented things happening. This wasn't unprecedented. It was just unusual. But today, looking at the forecast discussion, low pressure deepens across the Canadian Maritimes. Mountain rain and snow showers continue through midweek with cool temperatures across the region as an upper level low remains overhead. And because it rotates counterclockwise, it's just funneling that cold air down to us. High pressure builds late this week into next week with warming temperatures.
And yeah, I did say the S word. So you're definitely going to be seeing your first flurries here in the northern part of New Hampshire, northern Maine, and at the higher elevations. We're not looking a lot, right? Like there's a dusting unless you're at higher elevations.
I know it's fall in New England. It's a beautiful time to get out there and hike and do stuff, but just know if you're going to be going to 2,500 feet of elevation or higher, wind chills are going to be at or below zero. They're going to get several inches of snow. You need to prepare for winter hiking already.
So for a place like Manchester, New Hampshire, mid-October, our average temperature, our high is about 61, our average low is about 38. We are going to be much colder than average this week. Let me show you how much we're deviating. This map shows deviations from normal, right? So they're warmer than they should be, they're colder than they should be, and those numbers show you kind of how far. So as we skip through the next days, I just want you to see what's happening. Here's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Like it's going to be a cold week, and we're going to start to see afterwards on the weekend, start to see some of those warmer temperatures return. This is Sunday.
That puts our highs for most of this week in about the 50s when we really should be riding pretty close to 60 this time of year.
So looking out long term on like a larger scale, you can see this low that's rotating around up here, which is going to give us some gusty northwestern winds, because you can see how tight these isobars are, how tight these are. You look at this just like a topography map. So where the lines are really far apart, it's not very windy, but where they're close, it is windy. It's just a steeper gradient that the air has to move down. So as we scroll through here and take a look, we can see that that does eventually move out and this high pressure settles in. And I just want you to see like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we just have this ridge that holds really, really tight. Now, what's going to be interesting is as long as the high is to our west, it's going to bring us some cooler air. But the second that high rotates to where we're getting more of westerly or southwesterly wind, then things are going to warm. And Climate Prediction Center says, yeah, it's definitely going to warm up in the 6 to 10 and the 8 to 14 day. We're looking at a warm rest of October, with the only question being the very, very end.
So definitely looking at a big warm up next week and the week after, but this is the chilly week. And there's even a few chances for places that I think are coastal to see their first frost. National Weather Service discussion discusses that. In the long-term part of their discussion, it says most notable weather impact in the extended will be surface high pressure promoting cold temperatures overnight. Remember, that's as long as that high is centered off to our west. At least a couple chances for frost in coastal zones that have not yet ended their growing seasons. The other thing that's going to be interesting is after this week, we have a couple chances for precipitation, but once that high builds in and sets overhead, no matter what side it's on, it really dries things out. And so we're looking at below average precipitation through probably close to the end of the month.
Also looking at the National Hurricane Center, they have one little area that they're monitoring. Yesterday had this between a 40 and a 60% chance, and so that has come down. I know better than to say the C word or the Q word, but you know what? It looks like I may not have to focus on that area for the next week, and that would be nice.